Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going over what I'm going to be doing for an aquascape. I'm going to be making it out of PVC pipe, obviously base rock. I'm going to be using silicone to glue it together. I'm going to show you how I've got some mollies in the tank right now, just to have something in there. I'm also going to show you putting it in the tank. I have another rock project that I'm going to be doing for this tank. When I'm done with this one, might make another video on that as well. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video and you like what you see, put a 1 in the comments. If you don't like it, put a 2 in the comments. Give me an idea of if I should change it up or if I should do something different. If you have any suggestions as well, please put them in the comments. I'd be up for any ideas you want me to do on this tank, because I plan on doing a whole series on it. Enjoy the video. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I have 2 black mollies. Well, they're spotted, I guess. But mollies actually can live in salt water and fresh water. Obviously, fresh water is what you more commonly see. They're fairly inexpensive, and I wanted to throw them in here while I'm cycling this tank, just so I have something to feed, something to create a little ammonia. I'm going to be putting these 2 mollies in. I will be putting them in a bucket, adding salt water slowly to get them ready for the tank. So what I did is I floated these mollies right in the salt tank, and then I've dumped them into this bucket. This is just the water that they came with. I'm going to take this glass, I'm going to take it up here, and I'm going to dip some water out of the tank and then dump it in here. 1 glass or half a glass, wait for 10-15 minutes, and I'm going to repeat that for about an hour. At that point, I'll check the salinity. We'll see if the salinity in this water is the same as what my tank is, which it should be close. And then at that point, we will transfer them into the tank, and we'll have mollies living in salt water. Okay, so I'm going to be starting the aquascape here. This is just a few things I bought that I'm going to use to create the way I want the rocks to sit in the tank. I'm going to have them silicone together on the tube so that they stay in place. I'm going to use these tools to break and chip them apart. So I was at the pet shop today. They were getting rid of some rocks that they had sitting around. These are all, they were once live rocks when they were brought in, but now they're basically just base rock. I'm going to dry them out, clean them up, and I'm going to use them for my aquascape along with what I've ordered. Okay, so the plan with the live rock is I'm going to build a structure out of PVC pipe. I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it the dimensions inside the tank I want. Then I'm going to drill holes through the live rock, feed it onto the PVC pipe, silicone them together, and then once I've done this, I'll install it in the tank. So right now I'm just taking measurements so I know what I'm working with. Looks like I want it to be about 27 inches long. That way there's a gap on each side. And I won't want it to be probably any taller than 10 inches. So I was just going to show you, this is kind of a little messy workspace that I got going on here, where I'm trying to create this aquascape. I had a one started here. I'm using PVC pipe and drilling holes in them to kind of hold them all in place. I've come to realize though that I've gotten way too big for my tank. So this is kind of where I started, but it's going to be completely changed. I just thought I'd share this with you because it's not feasible to fit in my tank. Okay, so I'm going to be putting together the actual aquascape that I'm trying to make for my 32.5 fluval flex. I made a structure out of PVC pipe. I do have all the pieces on here. I have them pre-cut. Basically, I didn't want to bore you all with cutting pipes. As you can see, I do have holes drilled in them to let air out so that there's no air in the tubes you know, because I'm going to have it lined with rocks when it's all said and done. I kind of have the base skeleton structure sitting right here. You can see in these rocks, every one of them has a hole. I drilled that hole so that I could actually slide them on the pipe. I'm doing this because I've built rock or structures in tanks before, and then if they get bumped or what happens, they fall. You're constantly picking them up. This way I'm going to actually make it a solid unit. I'm actually going to take in silicone, the other rocks that are attaching to it, so it's all one piece when it's in the tank, so that I can make sure it doesn't rub on the glass, it stays away from the glass, fish can't knock it over, and I have a good secure place to fix the corals that I will be buying. To drill in these rocks, they're pretty soft, powdery rocks. I mean, just basically, I got a bit right here. Basically, it's a glass bit, but it worked perfectly for this. It's the perfect size. So able to just drill in the hole. So I have them all drilled. I'm going to be putting this all together. Okay, so as you can see, I have all the pieces pre-cut. I have all the holes pre-drilled. So basically it's just going to be pushing this together. This will go on here. This is the rock that will be going in this hole. I have this set here. This is going to be like a stand. This will be under the rocks. You won't see it, but it will actually be under the rocks like so. Now the other side is going to be the same way. It's going to have the legs. You'll also have the riser, and then also like so. I have it designed here so you can see I got the holes in the rocks. They're going to be, I have them made so they fit together just a certain way, like so. This piece here, now as you can see from this angle, I have it all assembled. I'm going to move you over here. So now you can see on this angle, this is the way it will be assembled. Same way with this side. Now this is just the first part of it. I will be taking, if you take a look at the structure, you can see how I've done this. With these legs, it's stable so it won't tip over. Now I'm going to be taking pieces and I'm going to be breaking them off, and I'm going to be gluing them on one by one to fill in the gaps. And as I get gaps, I would be filling them in. As I'm making them, I'll be showing you that. This part, taking effect, this part will be under the sand. It won't be noticeable, as well as this part here. These parts will be covered with rocks. These seams here, I'm just going to actually, instead of using the proper stuff, I'm going to use a little silicone for water safeness, 100% silicone, to glue that together. So I just wanted to show you what I'm actually using here. I will be using 100% silicone. If you do something like this and you don't have the fish specific stuff, you just want to make sure you have 100% silicone with no additives. The additives will actually poison the water and hurt your fish. But all I'm going to be doing is taking a small amount, putting a little bit in here, not much. Once I put that in there, I probably just take and smear it around a little. Same way on both sides. And I'll just be putting these in instead of the actual pipe joint stuff, because that stuff can be toxic. We'll be using this. And I'll continue this for the whole structure. So that's exactly how I'll be doing it. Alright, so I have all the pieces glued in. I use zip ties to kind of hold them in place. You can see if I get up real close, you can see where there's silicone in the cracks in there. I'm going to be putting little rocks over the top of them, gluing them in to kind of decorate it up a little. I'm sure it would cover with coralline algae and stuff anyways, but this way it looks good right away. Just give you a quick walkthrough. I took and made little openings. So as you can see, I placed some rocks kind of around the bottom areas. That's where they'll be like in the tank, just kind of covering up anything on the bottom down there. Okay, so I have an idea here for potentially making it easier to put corals in once I have this in the tank and established. I know it's going to be a little ways down the road, but once I do, I'm going to take this bit, it's another glass bit, a different size. I'm going to drill holes in different spots on the rock so that when I'm done, I can take this plug, set it right in them holes with the corals on it. Then they stay right where I want them. So I wanted to give you just a little bit of an idea better of what I was talking about. Now that I went and I've drilled some holes, as you can see, I can put it right here. If I have a coral, I can, little holes all over. Wherever I want to position them, I got holes set all over the place. Easy to pop them in. Put them in there. Forget about them. Have them sitting in here. They'll grow in just fine like that. That way you can move them easy. I got holes stuck all over. So any position, any water flow problem, just simply pop them in, they're good. So down the road here, when I am able to buy corals, adding them is going to be a breeze. Alright, now I've installed this rock, the piece we just made. You can see how the PVC pipe base that holds it up is buried in the sand. It's all covered. This area over here, I'm going to be building a different type of structure out of rock. That'll be for the next video.